last session we discussed about working with the structural directive switch, how to use ng switch. Means conditionally how to handle our HTML views. We learned about that. So we designed a simple component. We designed a simple component, and in this component, we are conditionally identifying which option user chosen, right? And based on that, we are displaying the view. We are displaying the view. We can even put a proper sequential navigation also. We can even put a proper sequential navigation also. Sequential navigation means you can add like next, previous, like options we can add. We can do that. So that means in a sequential order, we can access them. So that doesn't require, here we have switch. So in this we designed a toolbar, like button toolbar, so that user selects on that, it can navigate to that. For example, if I want to add something like next and previous like options, so that the switch can define that. For example, so switch is using cases like info, and is using cases like description and preview. For example, suppose you are adding some navigation, means from one step to another step or previous like options. Usually what we can do is we can call these views, these actually cases, we can pass that into the switch. Into the switch we can pass them from any control. That also I told you, like I created a drop down, and from the drop down user selects, and when user selects from the drop down, in the right side corner you see, and we pass the drop down value. So for that I designed a drop down. The values are using the same as the switch cases. When user selects the drop down, then we pass that value into switch case. Based on that, it can display. So in different occasions, we can handle them. With the different controls, we can handle them. That's what important is. Okay. Next, after understanding about how to deal with if and switch case, working with if and switch cases. So next, we need to know about another important structural directive. So that is ngFor. Another structural directive, ngFor. Actually, technically, ngFor, so it is an Angular directive use it to repeat any DOM element, repeat any DOM element based on specific iteration, or you can say that using iteration, repeat any HTML element using iteration. So, or you can say iterator pattern, right? Iterator pattern. Actually, iterator is nothing but iterator pattern. Pattern allows to access elements from a collection in sequential order. So it is a software design pattern. It is a software design pattern. So technically it comes under the category of behavioral patterns. So behavioral patterns. Actually, the purpose of ngFor is it is used for repeating HTML elements. I want one HTML element so many times, but different data. Then we can create an dynamic iterator. Based on that, we can display. Let's see simple example how we can manage that, how to deal with that. So ngFor syntactically it uses like this. So syntactically it uses an iterator. Means we have to use ngFor. How to create iterator? In TypeScript, I told you we created iterator let item of collection. Iterator is created like this. I told you for and for in for off. For in for off. For off is used for reading the values from a collection. And every value that you read for collection from the collection, it will be in this item. What ngFor will do is it is used on any HTML element. Suppose I am using on li. Now what it will do is it will repeat this li. It will repeat this li. So until the collection ends. And the collection ends. That means for every item in the collection, it will repeat. For every item in the collection, it will generate a list item. It will generate the list item. Now, important is we can access that item also because it is stored in item reference. But remember, ngFor intention is not printing that item. Its intention is to repeat this element. We have to repeat that element. So how we can repeat the element? Let's see. One simple example we will see first. So let's close this switch. I'm adding a new component. So from hereafter, in order to speed up the work, you can add components by using command, right? I will use the terminal. In the terminal, I will add a component, ng generate component, ng generate component for demo, and skip test equal to true, because I don't want the skip test equal to true. Okay. So we are using the command, okay. That means a new component generated. So once the component is generated, it is registered also. But generally, when you generate a component, it contains all the predefined logic generated for you, which is not required for that situation actually. We need to modify that every time. That's the reason. So we were adding our own